Fasten your seatbelts, hold on tight. You're in for one crazy ride tonight on the Josh Nolan Full Throttle Racing Show. Hashtag one on Facebook. Headset back on here. Ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelts, hold on tight. You're in for one incredibly awesome and super cool ride tonight on the Josh Nolan Full Throttle Racing Show. Hashtag one on YouTube. With me tonight, we have Riley and Lane Stowers. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
So Riley and Lane, let's talk about where your racing careers began. How did you guys get behind the wheel of a race car?
You can go first.
Jumped into my sister's Outlet cart once, and then I really loved it. And then I just went straight into race cars after dirt bikes.
Okay.
My dad used to race, and we got me in it when I was about 4 years old, and we progressed up some steps, and we're at Outlet carts now.
Okay. So Riley and Lane, were you guys scared to get behind the wheel for the first time and go out racing?
No.
Yes.
I was excited.
I was nervous.
Lane, you were nervous?
Yes.
Yes. So Riley and Lane, let's talk about your race car numbers. Where did that come from?
I started racing dirt bikes. It was 3 digits, so I just started and I just picked 127.
We had the saying, me and my dad had the saying, you can't lose with 22. So that's kind of where I got my number.
Okay, very cool, very cool. So Riley and Lane, when you're out there racing, do you guys compete against each other on the track?
No.
Not anymore.
Not anymore? Okay. So Riley and Lane, let's talk now about how much success have you had as a race car driver?
Not too much.
Not too much? Okay.
Yeah, so.
I feel like I've had a lot of success. Yeah.
Okay. So Riley and Lane, what is your guys' 5-year plan with the racing? What are you going to do in 5 years with your racing careers?
Well, I would like to keep racing some 250 a la carts for a little bit, and then hopefully move up to 500.
Okay. Okay. How about you, Lane?
I wanted to, in 5 years, I wanted to get from box lot to 250 to 500 to move up into non-wing sprint cars.
Okay. So what is your guys' 10-year plan with racing? What do you guys want to do in 10 years with your racing careers?
Hop into 360 sprint cars.
How about you, Riley?
Hopefully after 500 and 250, move into sprint cars.
Okay. So and what?
And race sprint cars for a little bit.
Okay. So Riley and Lane, who is your guys' favorite race car driver racing here? Who do you look up to as race car drivers?
You can go first.
Not you.
Okay. Mine's Haley Deegan.
Okay.
You go.
Mine is Kyle Larson.
Okay. Have you guys met Haley Deegan and Kyle Larson?
I've met Haley Deegan once at the racetrack when we were, well, it was at a sprint NASCAR. Birkin Speedway, where we a lot of kids in the cars that I was racing were driving around the track when they had the national anthem going. So I met her then.
Very cool. How about you, Lane? Did you get a chance to meet Kyle Larson at all?
No, but I've raced his son before though.
Very cool. Very cool. So Lane and Riley, when you guys are strapped into your race cars and ready to go on the track, what helps get you focused to go out on that racetrack?
Well, I just see what I could do on the first lap, and then once I do the first lap, if I did good on the first lap, I'll just I'm super focused then.
Okay, how about you? How about you, Riley?
My dad usually when I'm strapped in my race car getting lined up, My dad usually talks to me, hey, the top side's good, maybe stay away from the bottom, or the bottom side's good, stay away from the top.
Okay. So Riley and Lane, who do you guys have for sponsors on your race cars?
So we have Collision Pros, which is one of our main sponsors.
Okay.
We have Smog Busters, Perkins Auto Glass, and Freedom Print Co.
Okay. Do you have the same sponsors, Lane?
Yes.
Okay. Are you guys still looking for sponsors for your racing team?
Say that one more time.
Are you guys still looking for sponsors for your racing teams?
All the time.
Yes.
If there's anybody going to be out here watching this racing show with Riley and Lane Stowers and you'd like to help them out, feel free to reach out to their mom. Definitely reach out to Amy Stowers or reach out to Riley and Lane because they'd appreciate the sponsorship on their race cars as they get further into their racing career. So Riley and Lane, now let's talk about, okay, who helps work on your race cars?
Our mom and our dad, and we do too.
Okay, your mom and your dad, and you do too. What's your guys' favorite jobs to work on the race cars?
You first.
My favorite job to work on the race cars is change our oil.
Okay. How about you, Riley?
I like to wipe down the cars. I love the smell of like the spray stuff.
Okay. So Riley and Lane, now when it comes to you guys at the racetrack, so when it comes to you guys at the racetrack, let's talk now a little bit. Okay. What's your guys' favorite thing to eat at the racetrack?
Okay, so there's this at the snack bar, they sell chicken nuggets and they're so good. And it comes with a little meal. It's super good.
How about you, Lane?
My favorite food at the racetrack is nachos.
Oh, I like chicken nuggets and I like nachos. Very good choices, kids. Very good choices. So Riley and Lane, do you guys have a racing nickname?
You go first.
Hurricane Lane.
Okay. And how about you, Riley?
They used to call me Super Muffin, but now they started progressing into Rocket Riley.
Okay, very cool. Very cool. So Riley and Lane, so what is your guys' home racetrack?
Mine is Cycle and Speedway.
And Red Bluff, yeah.
Okay. And where are those tracks at, Riley and Lane?
Cycleland is in Chico, and Red Bluff is in Red Bluff at the fairgrounds.
Okay, okay. So Riley and Lane. Now I'm going to go a little bit further here, a little bit. Riley and Lane, when it comes to you guys away from the racetrack, what's your guys' favorite restaurant to eat at?
You go first. I have to think. There's a lot of good ones.
I don't know yet. There's so many I love. I think a Lawson Steakhouse.
Okay.
Yeah, go with Latin Steakhouse too.
Okay, okay. So Riley and Lane, now when you're at home, what's your favorite home cooked meal that your mom makes for you?
Go first. My mom makes beef stroganoff in the winter, and it's so good.
How about you, Lane?
My mom makes spaghetti.
Yeah.
So good. I
Okay.
love it.
Okay, so Riley and Lane, when it comes to your guys' racing careers and stuff like that, what do you guys like to do away from the racetrack?
I like to at school I play football and it's super fun. And then I play baseball and I do jet ski.
Okay, how about you, Riley?
I'm a gymnast, and I also like to do a lot of sports like football, and I also ride jet skis.
Okay, so Riley and Lane, what does your school friends think of you guys being race car drivers?
My school friends are really cool and understanding about it. They're into racing stuff too.
So how about you, Lane? What does your school friends think of you being a race car driver?
I think it's really cool, but some don't really believe me. So
Okay. So Riley and Lane, this is going to get interesting now. What is the worst thing you've had happen to you as a race car driver?
Ooh, a couple of years, maybe more than a couple years. Um, but a long time ago, I broke my thumb in the middle of a race.
Ooh,
I either broke it twice in a race or I broke one on one side. I don't know, on each
yeah,
side. I don't really know
yeah,
that far into the details, but yeah, I finished the race though, so it was pretty fun.
yeah. So how about you, Lane? What's the worst thing you've had happen to you as a race car driver?
Okay, so once I drove and then I crashed and I landed part on my wing, one side on my wing, the other part on my bumper.
Oh, oh boy. Did you get hurt at all, Lane?
Mm-mm.
No. So Riley and Lane, when it comes to your guys' racing careers, do you have anything out there you want to say to the kids to help get them in a race car?
You go first.
If you guys should really try it, I would just start in like a smaller motor just to get the feeling of it so it could be easier.
Okay, how about you, Riley?
I definitely encourage kids to try out racing. It's a great sport. It's a big commitment, but it's super fun. I
Oh.
really like it.
So Riley and Lane, I'm going to turn the mic over to you. If you guys have any questions, you can ask me. How's that?
Okay. You go first.
When if you were were driving a sprint car and today what driving today, what would you drive?
I would either drive a sprint car, a NASCAR, an Indy car, or a dragster. One of them four.
Who's your racing idol?
My racing idol, you kids, I don't know if you guys know this guy or not. When I was a kid, there was a guy out here in the Midwest. His name was Doug Wolfgang. Very, very awesome 410 sprint car driver. And he raced side by side with Steve Kinzer and won, I think, 4 Knoxville Nationals, 4 or 5. Yeah.
I don't think I've heard of him, but that's really cool.
And his racing mascot was the wolf. He had a great big wolf on the back of his shirts.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I've actually heard of him.
Really?
Yeah. And my NASCAR idol Lane, me and you share that one. I like Kyle Larson. And I do like Haley. I like Haley Deegan also.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any other questions for me?
What's your favorite food?
My favorite food is I like pizza and I like tacos.
Ooh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Those are good.
And I'll tell you what, Riley and Lane, I'm friends with some pretty big names in racing.
Really?
Yeah. Do you guys ever watch the Indy 500 at all?
I don't think so.
It's the
every once in a while.
it's the world's largest sporting event, Riley and Lane, and it's hot. The people that go to watch this race, 500,000 people go to watch this race at the track. And it's 200 miles, actually 500 miles, 200 laps around the track. And you win the Indy 500, you guys. One of your prizes, you get $2 million cash. That's your prize money. Plus, on top of that, you get a brand new sports car on top of that.
That's amazing.
And if you win the Indy 500, a lot of times it's sponsored by Chevy. So you'll either end up with a brand new Camaro or a brand new Corvette.
Those are some cool cars.
Oh, yeah. Yes. And then you get what is called the Borg Warner Trophy. And that Borg Warner Trophy is 6.5 feet tall. And it's got, what they do is they take a picture of your face and they carve that into the trophy. And it's made out of sterling silver.
That's so cool. That's taller than my mom.
Yeah. 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 And I'm friends with former IndyCar driver Dan Weldon's 2 boys, Oliver and Sebastian.
Really? That's really cool.
And they are about your kids' age. And I'll tell you what, they race go-karts, and they've already signed development deals to drive for Michael Andretti when they get older.
Nice. That's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, it's my pleasure to have you guys on here talking to us about your racing careers. So I have a question. Being you guys are brother and sister, do you guys ever argue and fight at the track?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot. Okay. So does your mom and dad have to get between you guys and say enough?
Sometimes.
A lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Not
Okay. And I have another question for you guys. Do you guys have any pets?
Yes. We have 2 dogs, a goat, and 2 horses.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. So where do you guys live at, Riley and Lane? Where do you guys live at?
We live at Northern California. Northern California.
Okay. What town though in Northern California?
Sacramento.
Sacramento. Okay. So Riley and Lane, what's your guys' weather like out there now? What is it, warm or is it cold out there?
It's in between.
Yeah, it's chilly.
It's chilly. Yeah, I like that.
Out here,
Pretty cold in the.
We'll continue.
yeah, out here it's like in the 50s, but I'll tell you what, you guys ever come out here in the wintertime, you guys would be like, no way. Out here, it gets down to be like minus 30 degrees. And then out here, we get on a given snowfall, out here, being we have blowing and drifting, we get about a foot to 2 feet of snow on a given snowfall.
I love snow.
You only in the snow once.
A couple times.
Well, for me.
And then we get ice out here too.
Ooh, ice.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely. But yeah, thank you guys for being on the racing show with me today, talking to us about your racing careers. Do you guys have anything to say to the kids to help get them come to my racing show?
You should definitely do it. It's really fun.
Mhm.
Okay. So Riley and Lane, thank you guys for being on the racing show with me tonight. I will call you in a little bit to thank you in person. I'll let you guys step out. I'm going to give a little racing news update, and I will call you here shortly. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. I'll have you guys exit out of Zoom now.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Bye. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was Riley and Lane Stowers. Go get a hold of Riley and Lane on Facebook. Definitely, because you want to get to know these kids really well, because these kids have a lot going on with their racing careers. Riley and Lane's Facebook page to get to know them is, hold on here, let me pull this up. Team Racing Ranch, sorry, Team Stowers. Definitely go hit that page up, press like on it, because these kids have got a lot going on in their racing careers. Also, ladies and gentlemen, definitely, let's pull up a little racing news update here for me on my end here. O'Reilly Benda picked up the golden ticket win over the weekend to get him to be one of 64 drivers to get into the BTE KOC Series Junior Dragster Christmas on the coast, and a $10,000 invitational. So congratulations to O'Reilly Benda. And Braden Eichler did pretty well in the North Carolina Quarter Midget Association race this last weekend, picking up he raced P6, position 6 and position 2. And when it comes to the A main, he let me pull up here what we got here. And when it comes to the A main, Braden was able to drive it back up was able to get a third place finish in the A main in his junior animal. But also, ladies and gentlemen, there's kids down in North Carolina at Millbridge Speedway competing in the micro sprint race down there. So definitely check that out if you can pull up. Definitely pick up that micro sprint race down there at Millbridge Speedway. They are down there for it's called the DIA Edge Carolina Micro Showdown. So Zach Weigel's down there. There's a bunch of kids down there. Jesse Love is down there. Also, some of the other kids that we Gunnar Setzer is down there. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, check that if we get a chance. And also, ladies and gentlemen, Jay Dale Jr. has announced that he's going to be running some Busch Series races next year, and he is going to be sponsored by Bass Pro Shop. So that's going to be kind of interesting to see that unfold. And then also on Friday, ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Busch Motorsports is going to announce what their plans are for their truck series teams for next year, for 2023. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's about all the news I got for you today. With that being said, you guys have a good night. Catch you later on another episode of the Josh Nolan Full Throttle Racing Show #1 on YouTube. Feel free to press like, subscribe, and hit that notification button on the Josh Nolan Full Throttle Racing Show #1 on YouTube. But also go press like on the Josh Nolan Full Throttle Racing Show #1 on Facebook. There is a lot of racing news on there. But also, ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to sponsor my racing show, feel free to call me at 712-209-7138, or you can text me at 712-209-7138, or you can email me at jjnolan151@gmail.com, or you could even, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank my sponsors for being a part of this: Manning Motorsports and New England Hemophilia Association. But I would like to thank everybody for being a part of this racing show with me, and definitely being on this racing show. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, you have a good night, and catch you later on another episode of the Josh Nolan Full Throttle Racing Show #1 on YouTube.